Hello, welcome everybody to the stream. Hello everybody, how's it going? Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Welcome. I'm finally not sick anymore, thank God. Hallelujah. I'm feeling a little woozy. Like, I'm not sick, like I'm 100% good. I don't have a headache anymore. I don't have a cold. I don't have body aches or chills or anything like that. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel a little off. But I'm not feeling bad or anything. Like, I'm not feeling fatigued or exhausted like I was last week. And I can finally breathe. So yeah, I can't really put my finger on it, but I do have like this dull cough, like like that's nothing. I don't know why I'm still coughing. It's just like, hey Arnold, you're not out of the woods just yet. We're still gonna have you deal with this. So I just have like this lame ass cough. But yeah. Whoa, hint of music with the first oh my god. Their first super chat. Thank you so much for the $100 super chat. Also, I know this is not the time or place, but I sent you an email recently. The RWBY appreciation song I made. Oh, I'm gonna have to check my emails. I've literally been sick for the last week, so I have like a week's worth of stuff to catch up on. But thank you so much. I'll definitely have to check that out, because I've been out of the loop for the last week. Sheesh. Thank you. Oh my god. Yo, what the hell is going on? All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I hate having this cough, because like I can't get like clear breathing in. But there's just some pathway blocking, so the cough is like what's being provoked by that. Oh, okay, so that was supposed to be the combination match. Okay, so hey Arnold, been watching your videos ever since your reactions to volume 3. I've always loved your reactions and discussions. I'm not a very sociable person, so I'm sorry for not being active. Don't ever have to feel sorry for that. I mean, it is what it is, you know what I mean? If you're here to watch videos, if you're here to leave a comment, if you're here to watch a live stream, you know, it's all appreciated. So I never want anyone to feel bad about not doing more than they're already doing, because, you know, it's a long way, you know what I mean? What you guys do goes a long way regardless. So I really appreciate the support. Damn, man. One episode left. How did we get here, chat? I can't believe this. I can't believe we're already here. 2 months went by so quickly. And to be quite honest, tomorrow is taking its sweet time. Like, I want tomorrow to get here, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, bro, I can't believe it. And the thing is, like, we just don't know. We're not really going to know anything else about, like, Volume 10 or RWBY in general until most likely this summer at RTX. So, you know, I feel like we made it through the worst, right? We made it through a 2-year hiatus. So the only way that it could be worse is if it's longer than that for Volume 10. You know what I mean? So, like, I genuinely feel like between now and RTX is reasonable enough to expect something. And so I personally feel like it's not going to be that bad if there is more that they have in store, or if they have more to announce at a later date. Oh man, yeah, the finale tomorrow, man. Like, I can't believe, like, they left us on the devious of cliffhangers this past week. Like, the episode was super short, and like how it left off, like how it ended, was just kind of like, damn, man. And it's like, damn, the next episode we get is the last episode we're getting. And I don't know if there's going to be an end credit scene. And not even that, I just don't know how it's going to end off with the Ever After and the Curious Cat and RWBY's Ascension and all that other crazy shit. So, and this is it. Like, this is the last episode. They got to wrap everything else, and they have to wrap everything up in this last delivery for the volume. So it's just kind of crazy how like the anticipation is built up to this point, which is also kind of stress-inducing. Shane Train, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Also, Dex, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, Arnold. Just got off work and just in time to watch your live stream. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. Let's see. Is it true that Volume 9 was originally supposed to be 10 chapters? I mean, well, it is 10 chapters. Volume 9 was already confirmed to be a short volume compared to like Volume 8. So like there's never been any confirmation as to how many chapters the volume was supposed to have. When Volume 9 was about to come out, they had already said that it was 10 chapters. But prior to that, like in 2020, 2021, when they originally greenlit these volumes, they said that Volume 9 would be shorter than Volume 8. So, you know, I assume that just meant like less episodes. But yeah, I'm very, very eager to see RWBY. Like, I have no fucking clue like what. See, here's my excitement for tomorrow comes from the fact that RWBY has been a passive character this entire volume. Her teammates have been the one doing the fighting. Her teammates have been the one like kind of setting up the plans and all of that stuff. I really feel like if RWBY ascends tomorrow, like it's just gonna be like all RWBY. Like she's gonna come back and she's gonna like 1v1 flex on the cat and like save the day as like this new version of herself or whatever. I actually feel like RWBY needs that spotlight. Yeah, she's gonna go sicko mode because she hasn't had any of that spotlight the entire volume. She hasn't fought. She hasn't really done much of anything because she's been kind of struggling the entire volume. And with this being the last episode and like everything riding on her success, like riding on her coming out of the tree, right? She's got to come out and defend herself against the cat who's trying to get her to go to Remnant. You know, there's a lot. I want to hear your thoughts about Neo. I mean, we really talked about Neo in the previous episode 8. Yeah, we talked about Neo in episode 8, but like at this point, I mean, I'll address it. I'll talk about like, I guess my thoughts of how things can leave off for Neo, but there wasn't really much thoughts going on with Neo in this episode because the cat is pretty much doing their own thing. Hey, Shane Train, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Arnold, glad that you're feeling better. I was sick as well, but also feeling better now. This volume was a whole roller coaster of emotions. We're not out the woods yet. We got one episode left. Those emotions are still there, boy. Yo, what up, Steven? What's going on, my dude? Limit form. If this volume doesn't have Red Like Roses Part 3 as the finale song, I'll cry. We actually talked about that last week. We kind of talked about how every finale song is essentially like centered around the main character of said volume, right? Friend was for Penny. Fear was kind of like for Ironwood. Nevermore was for like Blake, Yang, and Adam. And like the further you go back, like all of the songs, all the finale songs kind of were based on the character that was or the theme of the volume. And this volume is really RWBY's development volume. So I really, really, really like, I can't imagine if it's a RWBY song and it's not Red Like Roses, that would be weird. But yeah, I'm really hoping, like I'm very hopeful just based on that track record. But we'll have to see. I think Red Like Roses will be in the episode, but not the end credits. I'll take either one. I'll take like Red Like Roses being a part 3 being a song period. That's actually what I really want. That's actually a good point. Tomorrow cannot come fast enough. Bro, I wanted to get here, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, I have no idea when we're going to talk about RWBY again. Truth be told. Like, I really hope they have stuff to talk about with it at RTX. I know the Justice League movie is the next big thing, and I'm looking forward to that. I haven't watched any of them, but, like, I've been staying away from, like, the clips that people have been posting, because I actually want to go into the movie, like, with little to no understanding of it. I still haven't watched the trailer either. At this point, I might just watch the episode. I might just watch the movie. I might just skip the trailer at this point. But yeah, overall, I'm super excited. Love the content, mate. Can't wait for tomorrow. Thank you, Sino. Thank you for the super chat. Sorry for the coughing, by the way. I freaking hate this cough. It's just there to annoy me. Totally a human. My lord, due to recent actions by Phoenix Knight, our fleet has been divided between heretics who okay. The shipping the shipping wars have started anew. It is what it is. Shipping should be fun. Thank you for the super chat. Totally a human. I appreciate that. Drink water? What do you think I'm doing? I promise that's all I've been doing. A bit off topic, but are you gonna play the new Zelda game? I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I still never... I beat the original Breath of the Wild, but I never did, like, the DLC or anything like that, so I'm not entirely sure. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when will I play it, because I definitely want to play it. I played the first one, and I really liked it, but we'll see. Let's see. But yeah, so again, thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Appreciate the support again. Let me see. Alpha Crow, thank you for resubbing with your channel membership. I appreciate that. Nathan, thank you for the $2 super chat. Yeah, definitely not a filler volume. I'll say that for sure. Seth Morgan, thank you for the $10 super chat. Seeing all of us here together for the ride brings me so much joy. To whatever happens, we can say we all had a good time. You know what? Truer words were never spoken, man. Like, regardless of what happens, I've had a complete blast. It's been so good to just be back and talking about RWBY on a week-to-week basis. Not just for the reactions, but these live stream discussions have been great. I feel like every chapter has gotten better and better and better. And so, you know, it's just great that everyone pretty much kind of got back together. And, you know, things were a little rocky in the beginning in terms of, like, the volume being shifted to Crunchyroll and it only being 10 chapters. And, you know, like, the pacing of everything was kind of ramping up and taking its time. And then when it kind of popped off, you know? But, you know, it's been great. It's just been really fortunate. I've been really fortunate to be able to still get on here once a week and talk about RWBY and get hyped and theory craft and speculate and look forward to how the episodes play out. And hopefully we can still continue to do that in the future. I still have, like, RWBY stuff that I want to get out. And obviously there's the Justice League Part 1, Part 2 movie. And officially supporting that, obviously, will support RWBY and future RWBY projects. And I'm really hoping that this summer, July, RTX 2023, they'll be able to, you know, have something more substantial to announce in terms of when RWBY Volume 10, if RWBY Volume 10 is happening, when it's happening, and their plans for it and stuff like that. But, like, I'm not expecting RWBY. Like, realistically, I'm not even if volume 10 is greenlit and confirmed, I'm not expecting it until next holiday season, like next fall. So like at least a year. Which, given the fact that we've survived like the last 2 years without it, we have this part 1 and part 2 movie thing that's going on, and there's a bunch of other distractions that'll most definitely keep us preoccupied in the meantime. So I'm not too worried about what I'll do in the meantime if it does get officially announced. But I definitely appreciate all of you guys who have tuned in and who have looked forward to the videos. Like, the videos have all performed really well. The live streams did a lot better than I thought they do, considering the 2-year hiatus. I thought that the live streams themselves weren't going to be as eventful because, you know, a lot of people are just in a different place in their life. A lot of people don't watch RWBY anymore or haven't been keeping up. And so I just really appreciate, and I'm just happy that you guys have been looking forward to these every week. Steel Gaming, thank you for the $10 super chat as well. Really appreciate that. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff to get through for today. We have a lot of setup for the finale. And then after that, tomorrow's just going to be, bro, I have no idea. I have no clue, bro. I have no clue what's going to happen tomorrow. That's like the best feeling ever. Like, you can theory craft and speculate as much as you want, but like realistically, like, I feel like this finale is just going to be something different. And I don't know, that just brings me a lot of excitement. Let's see. StarCraft Squall, I was disappointed we didn't get one scene with the team really reacting to Ruby's death before moving on. I think the Jabberwalker, yeah, the Jabberwalker will most likely be a factor next episode. Yeah, I mean, that's valid. I'm not gonna, realistically, who knows what they did or didn't include for whatever, you know, for whatever they did for the scenes itself. I understand what you're getting at, though. That's definitely valid if you wanted more out of the scene, but it only gave you what it gave you. Let's see. The episode felt like it cut a few parts out, right? Well, I just mean in general, like, you never know what the full product looks like. Like, if there were parts that were cut, because there were a lot of, like, cut back and forth between, like, the tree scene and then RWBY and the blacksmith scene. So it's kind of hard to just tell. And they've definitely confirmed that there are things that were in the show that they ended up revising or taking out. So, yeah, like you can never truly know like what the initial plan was, especially if things have to change or things have to get cut. RWBY committed Ascension, but we're all great. Well, the thing is, they know RWBY's not dead. So like they know RWBY isn't dead. It's just they don't know. They have to welcome whatever it is that she becomes, but she's not biologically dead, which is why I feel like they're not all like gathered around crying about it. You know, it's a metaphorical, you know, allegory for us as the viewer, but it's different for them. Like, they're not going to react to it in the same sense because, you know, they immediately are like, okay, RWBY went to the tree, so we have to go to the tree. But does that mean she's going to be different or not? They're not sure. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, even the after and say Ascension isn't death, it's rebirth. Let's see. For once, I have no solid idea of what could happen, so I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts about tomorrow. I'm gonna try my best too. I'm just as excuse me. I'm just as eager to see what happens for tomorrow's discussion or tomorrow's chapter as well. All right, give me 1 second, and then we will start. Okay. A lot of focus put on butterflies throughout the volume, hinting towards Ruby's metamorphosis. Yeah, they mentioned that. I mean, well, they showed, yeah, the butterfly they showed a ton of as early, I think, as chapter 2 or 3. And yeah, they definitely littered those around as like symbol, like to like symbolize that. Feeling any better? Yeah, I feel great. I'm just a little, I have a little I don't know how to word it, but I'm just having a little difficulty with a slight cough, but it's nothing serious. Okay. All right, so let us move things over a bit. Okay. Hopefully everything looks good and sounds good. How sick were you for the chapter 9 reaction? I mean, as sick as I was, I guess. I can't really quantify how sick I was, but I got through the episode. I got through the reaction. It wasn't, you know, you guys will see it tomorrow, but you know, I made it through. But I think it was maybe 2 days ago that I think it was like 2 or 3. It was Tuesday, I think it was, that I was like, I was no longer sick by Tuesday, which was about a week, because I got sick Tuesday night last week. By Tuesday night last week, I was sick. And so I was sick for an entire week, which was wild. If I was sick for one more day, I probably would have gone to the doctors, or I was advised to potentially get like a COVID test, but I held out on it just because I'm not like, I rarely leave the house, so like the chances of me getting COVID would be like super ultra low for me in particular. But I just waited it out, and I got better within a week. But yeah. All right, so the start of the episode. Holy moly, dude. I got super excited when I heard the narrator, because we heard this narration in one of the trailers when volume 9 was like first announced. And this was also the narration at the very start of episode 1. Was like, this is the story of a girl who had a lot of problems. And like, no one knew who the narration was. Like, at the time, I think I was also like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I wonder who that could be talking. And I was like, oh, maybe it's the narrator, like the author of the book. Nope, turned out to be good old Summer Rose. I can't believe she's actually in the show. Like, modeled up, voice acted, new design and everything. And yeah, so it's just kind of like, the story's being told, but it's being told from the perspective of like, you know, a mother telling her, you know, giving her kids a bedtime, narrating a bedtime story for her kids. And this is how most of the kids grew up learning about the fairy tales, like the girl who fell through the world and whatnot. The funny thing too was that like I was under the assumption that RWBY learned the story from Yang, because Yang would be the one that would tell like RWBY, like would read RWBY the fairy tales as she was growing up. But there was a point in time where Summer Rose was around and she was reading stories to both of them, so I thought that was really awesome. So Summer Rose is officially, and it's the same design as the one that was in the blade of her weapon. So during that episode, I think it was episode, what was it, episode 5? I think it was episode 5 where we first saw Summer Rose's weapon, and I was stuck between, it's either a reflection of Summer Rose or that's a version of RWBY Ascended. And it could potentially be both at this point, because I don't know how the interpretation of the end of this episode is going to play out, with RWBY deciding out of all of those weapons, the one she grabs is the one that she's going to become, and she grabs her mother's weapon. So it's like, what is that going to mean for RWBY grabbing her mom's weapon of all weapons, you know? But I love the reveal. I thought it was awesome. It's been long overdue. You know, we've gotten teases of Summer Rose since Volume 1, since the Red Like Roses Part 2 song, and even the Red trailer, and like the Volume 1 opening, seeing Summer Rose, like I guess the apparition of Summer Rose at her grave, and from RWBY's perspective. But goddamn, man, this was huge. This was awesome. Like the transition from the tree to like the fairy tale storybook page was pretty neat. And then just seeing the rose pendant. So that was the pendant that Summer gave to RWBY. You know, it carries a mother's promise, and she's had that on all of her outfits throughout the show. And she had to pay that to get the leprechaun nose hairs from the teapot lady. So you know, it's very bittersweet for sure. It's super bittersweet to not have that. I don't know if RWBY's gonna get that back from Ascending, but it was just super cool to just see Summer Rose again, and be asked the same question we've been hearing the entire volume: what are you? And she's gonna have to answer that question by the end of this like, I feel like that question will be answered before she leaves the Ever After, potentially even be answered by tomorrow. So yeah, the shortest chapter in RWBY. Oh man, you must have not been here during Volume 1. Nope, I would take this length over Volume 1 length episodes any day. Maybe the shortest chapter of the volume. Yeah. I'm getting a little bit of internet spikes. I'm not sure if that's affecting anybody else, but I do apologize if that is causing some internet kerfuffles for some of y'all. Slow mode is not on, no. I haven't had slow mode on the entire volume. I haven't really needed to. Yeah, the finale's tomorrow. Yeah, it's wild, man. Didn't they say the longest chapter is going to be the longest of the series? Nope. I don't... That sounds kind of odd. That sounds oddly specific. Yeah, that sounds like wishful thinking. That sounds like someone... Yeah, the longest of the volume. Yeah. I don't know. Wait, they actually did? Wait, when was this? Hold on, Raijin, can you confirm that? Yeah, I was gonna say longest of the series. That would have to be longer than like The Lost Fable. Yeah, I didn't hear that. I didn't see that, so I can't confirm that. Eddie said it was the longest of the volume, not the series. Okay. Well, what's the longest episode been thus far? 18 minutes? 20 minutes? Yeah, this volume has had pretty lengthy runtime. Yeah, chapter 6 was 20 minutes. Yeah, so it'll be around that time, which I expect because it's the finale, and we usually get a pretty lengthy credit scene, like with a full length song for the wrap up. So yeah, I'm expecting at least a 20 minute finale for them to wrap up everything and set up for what comes after. But yeah, we'll have to see. Did he say that on, was that said on Twitter? Who said that, Raijin? And oh, Eddie said, okay, so I assume it was on Twitter then? Yeah, I was unaware. I had no clue. Gotcha. It was a response. Okay. All right, not bad. Yeah, that's exciting because I actually had no idea. But we got the Summer Rose reveal. She's reading from the same she's reading off of the same book that gets burned in the intro. So, you know, she's reading probably like an authentic copy of The Girl Who Fell Through the World. And then the transition out of the Neo Manor from Jean's perspective here after the cat gets away, Ruby goes to the tree, and all the crazy shit that happened from the last episode, and they're kind of just left to figure out, like, hold on. Fingers crossed. Hello? Yeah, I don't know why my internet's acting up right now. Ugh. I haven't streamed, like, I've only streamed, like, once a week. I don't know why the internet's acting up. Sorry about that, guys. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to just double check on something real quick. Out for... All right, my bad for that. I'm just having some internet issues at the moment. Okay, there we go. That should be a little better. Let's do this. Let's do that and that. Okay, there we go. All right, hopefully we're good. But yeah, so Jean's trying to, like, keep everything together, you know, as he's rushing back. I love the reflection of the tree. I don't know. I just really love the hue, like the colors that they use to reflect the tree in his eyes. During that one shot right there where he was asking, like, what does this place want? And what did I do wrong? And, you know, he's pretty much kind of being hard on himself for everything that he felt like he could have helped prevent from happening, be it the paper pleasers, Ruby, and, like, even now. So, I don't know about any of you guys. You know, I know there was a lot of stuff going on this episode, but I think the genial gem scene is my favorite scene of the episode. Like, I really, really, really loved this entire scene and, like, how it played out. The music was great. Just seeing that the paper pleasers came back the way that they said, and Jean, like, needing to see it to believe it. And that kind of, like, was the weight that he needed lifted off of his shoulders to be able to accept, you know, to accept, like, his behavior, and to accept that, like, he wasn't, like, his decisions weren't like the best. I just loved this closure for Jean. Yeah. You know what was really funny? I didn't realize it until my second watch, but the paper pleasers were basically cleaning up their corpses. Like, all of the paper that they were grabbing in the water was just like their old bodies. Like when they were paper before they ascended. And I was just like, oh my God. Oh man. But yeah, other than that, you know, I thought this was sweet. I thought it was wholesome. I love how they're called the genial gems, which is pretty, I like the alliteration of that. I love like what it means, like what it represents for them. And I love how, like, the effects of them, like when they talk, they glow. They still act the same way. They still have the same mannerisms. They're still polite and pleasant and peaceful and caring. And I don't know. They're like the best thing that ever happened to Jean. I loved it. I was wondering too. I was like, is this the RWBY one? Right? Because the red paper pleaser was the one called RWBY. And so I was like, oh, I wonder if that's the RWBY one and this is the Yang one. And I was just like looking at all the different colors and what all the different colored ones could be. Because they're basically just the ascended version of the paper pleasers. But yeah, and she had the little basket, you know, like Little Red Riding Hood in her basket, going to see grandma, going to grandma's house. But yeah, I loved it. I love the scene so much. Were the paper pleasers made of house, or were the houses made of skin? Oh God. I loved like, the thing I loved the most is how they ascended. Like, before, these little guys couldn't even go out in the world without, like, any possible thing causing them to die. Like, whether it was a fire, whether it was water dissolving them and whatnot. So they just came back as, like, the best potential thing, like gems, to where they wouldn't be threatened by their environment, you know? And it would make it so where like Jean can like trust and let them live their life and do their thing. And I love how they took the water, the thing that caused them to die in the first place, and they were just like, all right, now let's solidify and crystallize this water and get this out of the way, because this isn't making our place look nice. So I really loved how their ascension kind of reflected and made them the best versions of themselves for the situation. Was the gem voiced by Issa? I don't think it was. I don't think they were. But also it would have been the purple one. Like, Issa Badiola voiced the purple paper pleaser, but it was just the red one that was talking. So but yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah, they made their weakness into a strength, which was awesome. I love the music. The music was the best part of this scene for me, I think. It was just such a sweet and wholesome scene. Yeah, a lot of people are calling them like the water benders, because they can like tap into like nature and whatnot, and that was, I don't know if I don't know if the paper pleasers could do that. They were the elements were making the elements were taking them for a ride, right? Like the Ren paper pleaser was getting blown away by the wind to where Jean had to give him rocks to hold him down to the ground, and now he doesn't need to do that anymore. You know what I mean? Like now they're practically rocks. So yeah, I just really love the OST and the soundtrack that Casey and her team have worked on thus far. I'm really looking forward to how the soundtrack comes together, you know? Really, really looking forward to that. And, you know, this was like a big moment for Jean, too. This was like a closure moment for him. And it was also necessary because you have to accept, you know, he had to... What's kind of crazy when you think about it is the cat basically goofed. The cat last episode basically told Jean how to get to the tree, right? In the last episode, the cat says you can't even accept your own futility. And then the cat also was the one that said it's not a place you go, it's a place you know. So last week the cat like low-key like told Jean how to get to the tree, and like without meaning to, I think. And it like worked out because Jean even said it. He was like, oh, it's like that cat was right after all. He said, I just had to accept it. And that's when it clicked for him. He was like, oh, it's not a place you go, you know? And the cat also said it in episode when they first met. He says, you do not go to the tree goes to you, unless of course you're me, you see. So like the only person that can go to the tree is the cat. For everyone else, you have to let the tree come to you. And that's basically what happened in this episode. So I just love how all of the subtle wording throughout the volume has been like super important. And it all came together really well in this episode. But yeah. Let's see, give me 1 second. Weiss plus Jean plus Tender Moment plus Yang. You know what? I said it in the reaction. I'll say it again. Common Weiss W's were given out this entire volume, man. Jean was like beating himself up. Jean was like doubting himself. Jean was questioning what he did wrong. And Weiss was like, you know what? You need to cut yourself some slack. You ask too much of yourself. We all think that failing is it means that we're not ready, when in reality, failure is the greatest teacher. You know what I mean? And I love how she even mentions that. It doesn't matter look at Espen. That man's failed more times than anybody, but he's still trucking along. You know what I mean? I just love how she was the one to say it too. She was like, you know, like even the greatest people have failed, but that didn't stop them from being brave and great themselves. And I'm just like, common Weiss W. What else is new? You know what I mean? And that was like a sweet moment. Like it's like a group hug. I also said in my reaction, I'm like, so Ruby's still missing, by the way. I was like, this is wholesome. This is sweet. This is great. But we need to be punctual, okay? Ruby's about to ascend. So yeah. Let's see. Totally a Human, thank you for the $20 super chat. Hello there. Rachel here. Don't know where everybody went and didn't wake me up. Since I have, oh, okay, I see. Since I have the bridge now, I would like to ask, what do you think we will see upon returning to Remnant? Oh, I see. How many days have since passed since they left? That's gonna be interesting. I'm expecting a bit of a time skip. I don't know by how much. Maybe by a few weeks. I think a few weeks would be long enough for them to be shocked, you know, to realize that Team RWBY actually isn't dead, Jean actually isn't dead, etc., etc. But it really depends. Let's see. Dan A, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Arnold, what if Lewis was one of Ozpin's previous lives? That would explain why he let him into Beacon early. Well, there's a lot of other reasons too to explain that, but we did talk about that a couple weeks ago, about Lewis potentially being one of the reincarnative cycles, but not necessarily because of Jean, but I mean, there's other reasons too, like why he could have just let Jean in the school early. Like he let Jean in the school because he knows that this kid cheated, which means he wants to prove himself. So it's like, hey, prove yourself at my school where you'll probably actually make it. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. I'm expecting at least a month. I'd say at least a month or a little less. I mean, it just depends on how many, like the flow of time, how it flows differently in Remnant versus the Ever After. It can't be too long where like Salem could realistically just kind of move in on Vacuo. But, you know, 2 to 4 weeks, I think that would be fine. You know, because it's just like they can't stop moving in the real world just because Team RWBY and company is dead. And that's long enough time as well where the refugees would be like settled in the new place or whatever. It's long enough to where people could mourn, not fully, but enough to like expect that like this is it, they're gone forever. But long enough to where if Team RWBY comes back, it's like a big freaking shock. But also enough time hasn't passed where they can't recuperate and figure out a game plan for Vacuo. But yeah, well, what I'm curious about is where they're gonna end up. Like, the portal sends you back to Remnant, but does it send you back to like where you need to go? Like, where are they gonna get thrown back? Like, you know what I mean? Are they gonna be right outside Vacuo's gates? You know, it's not like the portals of it's not like Ambrosius's portals to Vacuo that like shipped them in the middle of the desert. So that's another thing too. I'm assuming it's gonna be somewhat convenient and it's gonna send them where they need to go. But yeah. But yeah, the tree moment was great too. Jean coming to the realization it's not a place you know. It's not a place you go. It's a place you know. And then like Weiss finished that up there. But yeah, I just love the genial gem scene. I thought that entire scene was very emotional and very heartfelt. I get a little choked up when I watch it now, just because like I think of like how much Jean has been through while he's been here, and like it's easy to understand from his perspective why he kind of went astray a little bit with being so pushy about like preventing them from ascending because of what he wanted, right? And he admitted like he was selfish. Because he wanted to be the hero, and obviously they brought him comfort and kind of took his mind off of things. So I just really liked the scene overall. What if the portal takes them back to Beacon? I mean, that would be kind of inconvenient, because then that's a volume 4 scenario all over again. They got to travel to get to where they need to get to. Do you think the cat is evil because it keeps giving away pieces of its heart? No, the cat's not evil. The cat has its own agenda and it wants to do whatever it takes to achieve it. You know, the cat is doing what it's trying to do to get to Remnant, and, you know, no one is necessarily evil in this case. It's just like, you know, like what he's trying to do is like his objective, his goal, and it goes against the protagonists of the story of RWBY. And so obviously they are seen as the bad guy, especially since like what they're doing also isn't very benevolent, I would say, right? Like manipulating people, taking advantage of the situation, withholding information. You know, you're eventually gonna, you know what I mean? Like deliberately hiding stuff. You're obviously naturally gonna make an enemy of people that way. But no, like for the afterins, it's not, you know what I mean? He was just, that was like kind of like like he's kind of like the admin of the Ever After. But yeah, they killed Alex. But the thing is that if you die in the Ever After, you ascend. So I feel like he killed Alex, but Alex became something else. I don't know if the cat was aware of that. Also, it's all a matter of perspective, but, you know, killing someone doesn't necessarily make you evil. It makes you like you're a bad person if it's not like in self-defense or something like that. But like, I feel like evil is just way too extreme of a judgment call. But yeah, the cat's definitely not a good person. They're not the good guy in this story, you know? But yeah, we'll get more into that as we go further in. I don't want to jump ahead too much. But yeah, what was cool here is that we saw the herbalist, which makes me wonder if you guys remember in episode 5 when we first saw the blacksmith, they were making what looked to be like a pair of butterfly wings. So I wonder if they were originally like starting the crafting process for Herb. And that was like Herb's wing at the time, because I remember like they were working on like what looked to be a butterfly wing, and Herb had just recently ascended to the tree. So I thought that was really cool. And something similar also happened in this episode, which I'll get into when we get to that scene as well. But it's just really cool foreshadowing how they like did those little teasing like not teasing moments, but like they just like they gave you those little scenes that didn't really have, like you look at it and you're like, oh, is that a wing, or why are they crafting a wing or whatever? And now that you see Herb here fully ascended episodes later, looking like a fit new person, you know, looking like a fit new afterin, it was super cool that you know, by the end of it, Herb was the same but different, you know what I mean? The hardest thing to understand, though, or the hardest thing to grasp with this whole Ascension thing is that the main thing that I'm hung up on, it's two things, actually. The first one is Ruby's memory. I don't think she's going to lose her memory because the cat was the one that originally said, the cat didn't outright say you lose your memories, but like when they asked like, oh, will Herb remember us after he ascends? And the cat said, why would he ever, like, he basically implied like, why would he do that? Like, why would that happen? It wasn't an outright confirmation that you lose your memories, but he was basically just saying like, that wouldn't be productive for an after, and if they are ascending, like you wouldn't, you know what I mean? To be a different person, you pretty much have to let go of who you previously were. So, like, that's, like, the main thing. It's like Herb, for example. Herb looks like a young, spry, fit version of who they were when we first met them. They looked kind of like an elderly herbalist, right? Like, they had, like, the big, like, caterpillar body and, like, the butterfly, like, wing top half. And now they look brand new. They look young. You know, it doesn't even look like, it looks like they just got younger. But it's just hard to kind of perceive, like, what's that going to mean for RWBY? Because, like, at this point, Ascension means, like, you're the same but different. Like, Herb looks the exact same. They're going to function most likely the same, but they're not going to be the same person. You know what I mean? So it kind of, I don't know. It just makes me curious of like, if RWBY, if Ascension has to happen, and if it does happen, is RWBY going to have a different personality? Is she going to have a different demeanor? Is she going to remember her teammates? Is it going to be more than just like an outfit change? You know what I mean? Like that's like the uncertainty of it with RWBY, because she's not an after and she's a human, and any type of tweaking to her is going to change her fundamentally. You know? Yeah, and the tree kind of acts almost like a cocoon state, where like while they're in this kind of wooden stasis mode, the blacksmith crafts them a new body, a new identity based on the conversation that she has with them or whatever. I assume the ones that do ascend like this, I don't know if they all kind of go through what RWBY's going through. Like RWBY seems to be kind of like having like a full, like she's fully like deciding for herself what she wants to be and what the blacksmith is going to help her become. You know, so it's like, I don't like, RWBY doesn't really need a new purpose as much as she just needs to believe in herself. So like, I wonder if there's going to be a minimal effort put on the Ascension side of things, because she doesn't need something else. She knows what she wants to do. It's just she's struggling to cope with like what that means for her. Yeah, she needs a confidence. It's not even just a confidence boost. It's like she is struggling to cope with the expectations that are put on her as a leader and as someone who makes decisions, and those decisions might blow back on her. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, she has to act that like that. The only way that gets better is with experience. Like, I don't want this Ascension to wipe that. I don't want her Ascension to like do that work for her. So in my head, I'm like, what's this Ascension going to do that doesn't undo what she needs to do? You know what I mean? Yeah, she needs to learn how to handle these things. And by being able to handle it, it makes it easier to go through the next time, and then the next time, and then the next time. And then it makes her who she is. Yeah. Yeah, RWBY could also just straight up like, the tree even said, like, you know, the blacksmith even said, like, whatever happens here only happens if you want it to happen. So like, nothing's gonna be forced on her. She's not gonna be like, you have to ascend or you can't leave. But like, I also feel like grabbing her mom's weapon is kind of like a confirmation that something is going to happen now. Whether it's like a hybrid factor, whether she grabs her mother's weapon, meaning she becomes her mother, like I mentioned. I remember mentioning that too in episode 6 or 5 when we talked about that. And I was like, do you think RWBY will turn into her mom? Like, not in like the literal like RWBY as her own mother kind of thing, because that'd be weird. But like, I just meant it in the sense of like, clearly some aspect of Summer Rose is going to rub off on RWBY by her taking her mom's weapon. I don't know what that's gonna look like though, because of the fact that it's an Ascension and there's a bunch of like ever after nonsense that goes into that process. But I almost feel like it's gonna be like she's going to become who she wants to be, and she's modeling that after her mother, because her mother is what partially inspired her to become a huntress. You know? That's kind of what I'm more aligned with thinking. Ruby needs reaffirmation of herself, and the Ascension should keep her memories, otherwise she really won't be growing. Any change in appearance should give her more individuality. Exactly. That's kind of what I was trying to get across, but I'm not the best at, like, I'm not the best at structuring my words right now, because what I want to say is, like, I wanted to say that, like, Ruby just needs, like, reaffirmation in herself. And it's like, if this Ascension can help her become more of Ruby Rose, then that's great. But I don't want this Ascension to make Ruby Rose into somebody else and to do away with Ruby Rose, because that's not growth. That's almost kind of like a cop-out in a way. You know? So I'm fine with an outfit change. I'm fine with a new look. I'm fine with a new attitude. I'm fine with, you know, even if, like, if she grabs her weapon and it's not her turning into her mom, or maybe it's just, it's giving her a bit of her mother's perspective. I think that would be nice too, to kind of understand that things weren't easy for Summer Rose either, but that didn't stop her from trying. You know what I mean? That didn't stop her from trying to be the best huntress, you know, or the best mom, or the best protector. And I feel like that, even that perspective would be more than enough to give Ruby, to give Ruby a semblance of understanding that, like, it's never gonna get better. You know, it's not gonna just, it's never gonna be all the way back to, like, oh, this is easy or whatever. It's always gonna be hard, but as long as you realize that you're not the only one who's ever gone through that, or you're not the only one that, you know, she's not, it's not like she needs to have all the answers. Like Yang said, like, her teammates are always there to talk to her and help her through it. I think that is what she really needs to take away more than anything with this Ascension. That's what I think she's going to ascend again after this, because it seems like she's just trying to hide behind her mother's image. I don't think that's, like, her intention, but, like, that is, in essence, like, that's, like, the biggest pillar of Ruby's character, I think, is her mom. And it's been teased throughout the Ever After that lies deep within her, is, like, her wanting to be just like her mom. And you can be like Summer without being Summer. And that's just what I hope she takes away from it. But, you know, Herbalist's transformation, and even the conversation they're having here, there's nothing else that the gang can do. They've done everything they can. And no matter what happens, whoever comes out of that wooden cocoon, they have to welcome it. It's not something that's catering to them. It can't be like, oh, well, I want Ruby to be the way I want her to. It's like, that's not up for you. It's not up for debate. It's not for you to decide anymore. This is literally Ruby's decision. And welcoming it is the best thing in the world, because to stray from that is, like, that's the whole reason why we're here, is because Ruby felt like she couldn't talk to her team because she couldn't relate to her team. And if they don't welcome Ruby and accept Ruby for who she is, it's just going to create more of this this level of expectation that will never be reached with her and her team again. And that's the reason why the tree brought them there for Jean. And, like, for Jean's perspective is acceptance. Yeah, so the thing for me is just, like, I can't foresee, like, what Ruby is going to become when she comes out. I hope we get, like, a slight like a design change in a sense, like, not just with her model, but also, like, with her outfit, with her weapon. Even, like, if they, I wouldn't mind if they did, like, a hybrid, because Ruby is very much like a spitting image of her mom. So if they did, like, if they tweaked some things with Ruby's design, I think that would be appropriate to show the Summer Rose influence. Like, with her hair, with her clothes. You know, we're going to Vacuo soon anyway, so might as well tease, like, the Ruby outfit change a little early. I think that would be nice. But, like, her hair, her outfit, maybe Crescent Rose, because, like, Crescent Rose fell with her, but by her grabbing her mom's weapon, I wonder if Crescent Rose is gonna get a little upgrade as well, like a visual upgrade maybe. Yeah, I don't want Ruby to just like hostile take over her mom's. Like, I don't want Ruby to come out of this looking like Summer Rose, even though she's Ruby, because then Yang's gonna be like, what the fuck just happened? Like, why do you look like mom? You know what I mean? Like, that's just gonna be a big, I don't know. I don't know how Yang would react in that moment. But yeah. I mean, I'd welcome it too. It's not like I'm against it, but that's not what I perceive in my mind's eye. I'm just like, I would like subtle changes to Ruby's design that harken more to her mom's appearance, but it's very clear that it's Ruby with Summer Rose influence. I think that would be great. Long hair Ruby? Yeah, maybe. It's like a Ruby Chibi moment. It's like a haircut day or something. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm super excited. Like, that's like the thing I'm most anticipated about, is just, in general, is just like what is going to happen with Ruby when she comes out. And speaking of Ruby, so I want to direct your attention to the top right image, or the top right clip. Because the last time okay, again, chat, the last time the blacksmith was crafting something, it was crafting a wing, which seemingly went on to become the wing of the herbalist who we just saw ascended. And Little also fell with Ruby, and we haven't seen Little since, but we see what looks to be like a helmet or a skull of some type of creature. And that could potentially be Little Ascension. I don't know what the what that's supposed to be, or what it's, I don't know if that's like a, like, so I've heard a lot of people say a bunch of different animals for that right there. Like, it's like some people say it's a rabbit skull, some people say it's a mouse skull. Some people say it's a wolf skull or whatever. Yeah, obviously it looks like a mask, but like, yeah, Little is about to become big. Big Little. Oh, man. But yeah, so I assume this is going to be Little's ascension, because Little did fall. Little died. Little, as an after, and if you die, you ascend. And Little also fell through to the tree with Ruby. So I think that that's what it's foreshadowing in a super, super, super subtle way, which is pretty neat. But going from there, like, there's just not enough to go off of. But the blacksmith is working on something new for someone or something else, you know, and it's a little, it's super exciting. Also, I love the blacksmith's design. I love how we get to see it fully in like all of its like super cool mechanical, like automaton glory. Like, because you can only see bits and pieces of it in the forge area, like in episode 5, which I already liked it back then. I love how the chain link is like a part of their hair, which is pretty cool. And the sound of their voice, the sound effect of their voice was great. And they just look so badass, man. Also, you can kind of see like a little piece of like wood on their spine, which I guess that implies that they're like a part of the tree. But yeah, this design looks so freaking cool. And they're the forger. They're the ones that are basically creating new afterins. They're the process of ascension. And at the heart of it all, they are, in essence, the tree in a simplistic manner. Yeah, they're essentially the tree's proxy. Yeah. So the tree is just like the big thing in the middle, and this thing is like, you know, it speaks on behalf of the tree, or on behalf of the tree's actions. And, you know, Ruby is now here. She's still struggling. You know, she still doesn't have the answers. She doesn't know what she wants. She's kind of figuring it out right now with the blacksmith. And, yeah, I just love this area that they're at, too. all of the little spirits that are flying about are all kind of like individual afterins that are about to ascend, whether they died or whether they completed their purpose or they strayed from their purpose. I just love the visual representation of this place. It looks really, really neat. Yeah, she's the Lorax. She speaks for the tree. I didn't even think of that. Oh my god, that's so funny. But yeah, so again, the little part there, I didn't think about that during my reaction because I was just like, I was just so sick, and I didn't even really, I just kind of did my reaction and that's it. So I didn't really get to think that much in terms of like my afterthoughts. But when I was rewatching the episode, I was like, oh shit, that could be little. So I thought that was really, really neat. This was so unexpected. Sorry for the coughing again, guys. It's just a dead cough. I hate the fact I'm just coughing for no reason. I'm like, at least, I wish I was at least a little sick. But it just keeps happening. But the way home is here. And it's wide open, dude. The door is just whole ass just wide open, waiting for anyone who it applies to go through back to Remnant. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to show you guys something which is really, really cool. Shout out to the RWBY. Shout out to the art team who put this together. I did snag this off of twitter.com. But this is a design of the door to Remnant. And if you look closely here, you actually can see the God of Light and Darkness's dragon forms on the door. So it's kind of hard to notice. Hold on, let me lower this real quick just so you guys can see it just a little better. But that's the door, and it has the brothers' dragon forms on the door on both sides. So that's also, again, further confirmation that the God of Light and Darkness made the Ever After, made the cat, and yeah, like this entire thing. It's so freaking cool. And the trees at the top. So you got the tree bordered at the top. You got the God of Light and Darkness. I don't know who's who. I think the God of Darkness is on the left, and then the God of Light is on the right. And then you have like, look at this shit. This is so freaking beautiful. That's such a beautiful shot right there. Shout out to the art team. But yeah, and you can slightly see it like in the animation itself, but it's just kind of, you can actually see it if you freeze frame like right there. You can kind of see it if you zoom in the shot like where you first see the white door before it transitions to the characters, like right there after Jean like pulls through the branches. So I thought that was really cool. It's super subtle. It's not like super clear to notice, so I wanted to at least showcase that for anyone who didn't see it or who didn't notice beforehand. Wow, I thought he was going to Remnant through that door, even if he... Wait, wow, I thought he was going to Remnant through that door, even if he successfully possessed Neo, he can't leave. Talk about ironic. Yeah, well, the thing is, like, now the cat understands the actual scenario for making it back. I mean, I thought Neo would be good enough too, but now that we understand that the person has to have a connection to the world in order to leave, that makes sense, because that means even if this door is just wide open, not any old afterin just can't run through it willy-nilly, you know what I mean, and cause a bunch of issues and problems for that world. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is this might be a failsafe. Like, the gods may have had this as an option in the event that someone from Remnant fell into the Ever After, as like if you end up ever finding your way through the Ever After, there is a way for you to get back home, so long as you don't lose your connections to that place, you know. So it's a good thing that this is just here, just chilling, and it's here, and there's like a failsafe. It's not like for any old afterin, and like the cat is the only one that would ever apply, that this would ever apply to, because every other afterin in the world kind of lives and applies itself to the world itself. They don't stray too far from their path, and even if they did, they'll just get called back to the tree. The cat's the only one that doesn't live by the rules of the world, and thus would be the only one that, you know, something like this would prevent it from leaving. But yeah. But yeah, so the cat's trying to make it out of here. Bro, I almost lost my shit when this cat was like, you always were the worst of the bunch to Weiss. And I'm like, bro, you did not just say that shit to best girl Weiss. You are actually capping. You're actually delusional if you think Weiss is the worst of Team RWBY. Just saying. Yeah, Weiss definitely struck a nerve. Weiss was like, oh, your plan isn't working, I see. And he's like, oh, God, Weiss, shut the hell up. But yeah, definitely out of pocket talking like that. Just saying. When did Weiss become best girl? I would say like volume, like by volume 3, like by volume 3. Yeah. Or, you know, some would say she was always best girl. She just had to get there. Where are we in the discussion? Look at the clips. We're chit-chat. We're talking. We just got to the point in the discussion of the door and the cat. And we're probably about, we're going to jump right now into the truth, the reveal of Alex and Lewis's true fate. Yeah. But yeah, so I am really happy that I stuck to my guns and mentioned that Lewis went through the gate, because Lewis's name is a reference to the author, Lewis Carroll, who is the author of Alice in Wonderland. And I was like, that would be very appropriate if Lewis is the one who wrote the book. And it seems like Lewis is the one that wrote the book, because Lewis is the one that went back to Remnant, not Alex. Circumstances were a little different, but, you know, like, the cat wasn't trying to take over Lewis. Like, the cat was always willing to follow Alex because Alex said that she would bring the cat back. But it seems like Alex at some point. So first off, Alex was kind of a brat in the Ever After. Alex was a bit of a brat in the Ever After. It seems like she actually did a number on the place, did a number on Jean, etc., etc. And on their way, and they made it to the paper pleaser acre actually here too, which is kind of neat. So she even made it to the paper forest on their way to the tree. And it seems like she had a crisis of conscience, somewhat in the same way as RWBY, because the green like realm background showed up, which is where RWBY is right now. So Alex basically, before she left, realized that she wanted to fix all of the things that she did. And thus her priorities changed, where she was like, okay, I want to fix everything instead. I don't want to help you get to Remnant. Lewis go through, and like Lewis ended up going through instead. Yeah, they said that she talked to the tree. So after talking to the tree, she decided she wanted to change things around. And the cat did not like that, because it meant that the cat couldn't go home because Alex wasn't ready to go home. And so Lewis went through, and it seemed like she was going to as well, but the cat prevented her from leaving. So it seemed like she fixed the Ever After, and then she was ready to leave, But then the cat didn't let her leave because the cat wasn't willing to take him. Now, here's my, first off, and I feel like I don't hear anybody really talking about this as much. I feel terrible. I feel terribly bad for Lewis. You know what I mean? Like, he came to the Ever After with his sister, and he has no idea that the cat, like, killed her. Like, he walked through the portal and never saw his sister again. Like, I was actually thinking about that after the episode. I was like, that's actually terrifying. Because this kid grew up the rest of his life without his sister and, like, went on to retell the story of the Ever After and the tree and the girl who felt, and, like, basically wrote a story of his sister and removed himself from it. You know what I mean? Like, he basically wrote that story as, like, a memoir in her honor. And he, like, removed him, like, it was a fairy tale, so he kept all the good parts in and made it as, like, and he made it, like, into, like, a remnant bestseller. And it was about his sister. And, like, he never knew what happened. And I guarantee, and he never found a way back there either, it seems. Which is really sad. But yeah. So, here's my thing. Here's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. Here's what I'm trying to think about. So, like, the long-running theory, and I was thinking about this too. So something that a lot of people have been talking about in the last week that a part of me kind of accepts and, like, can see being a factor is that Alex became the blacksmith because she wanted to fix everything she had done in the Ever After. And the blacksmith, from what we've seen, helps the Afterans move on to become the versions of themselves that they need to be, which then goes on to work into helping out the Ever After, right? The paper pleasers, Juniper, the Red Prince, etc., etc. And it would make sense if Alex became the blacksmith that created Juniper, that went on to save Jean and send him to the paper pleasers. You know, like, it's like a domino effect. Like, Alex's actions of becoming the blacksmith, creating an Afteran like Juniper, to then go and save Jean, is her way of saving Jean. Similarly, it's like, it's her way of just kind of fixing all of the things that she did wrong in the Ever After, creating a new herbalist, creating a new prince, you know, creating the from the Crimson, creating the prince from the king because she cheated in the game and, like, that caused a bunch of issues in the Crimson Castle. So, like, everything that she had done in all of the acres, she had done some level of ascension to fix her, to rectify her wrongdoings of that place. So that's step one. That's one level of it that I can see. Another level that I could see, and this is something that Kalaxin was talking about when the volume first started. I don't know if she's been swayed by new information to think differently. Alex could have died and become Juniper, and thus has been by Jean's side the entire time, helping him out whenever she can. Not only in helping Jean out, but by helping Jean, she's helping another fellow human so they don't fall into the same, like, trap that she got caught up in when she came to the Ever After. So that's another thing. She could have become the white rabbit itself because she also has the little rabbit pendant on her dress. So that could be another thing. She could have become Juniper. My thought process is still kind of the same. And and I've been saying this for a little bit because it's so out of left field. It seems so insignificant to, like, anything else that's been going on here. I wonder if the cat killed Alex, knowing that she would ascend, but turned her into something else with the assistance of his heart. So like, you know, like how the cat can give its heart to like an afterin and like help influence them. I really wonder, because I can't get this out of my head. Like, the cat knew what it did to Alex. The cat's been gaslighting everyone this entire time. So when Blake asked in episode 4 or in episode 3, you know, well, Alex learned her lesson in the end, didn't she? The cat said, I certainly think so. So like the cat knew that what it did, and it was the lesson that Alex had to learn. But we didn't know what happened to her. If he killed Alex, then that means Alex should have ascended. And if she ascended, the cat should have known that as well. I still think that there's potential that Alex became the Jabberwalker. For a number of reasons. Number one, the Jabberwalker is one of a kind. There's only one of it. And that could represent Alex being the only human in the Ever After to ever have ascended. So that's the first thing. Second, and this is huge, we found out in this episode, specific wording here, we found out in this episode that Alex wanted to fix everything that she had destroyed in the Ever After. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but if you go back to episode 3, when you see the Jabberwalker running from acre to acre, it specifically shows us that the Jabberwalker can bleed. Like, the Jabberwalker ran through the razor grass and it got cut and there was blood on the grass. I don't know if that's to imply that the Jabberwalker is a human, is human made, or is human of human origin because they can bleed blood like a human can. That's number one. But number two, if you go back to that scene, the Jabberwalker is like rummaging through the ruins and it's looking for stuff. And it specifically says fix. It's like looking, it's picking up gears, it's like fix, and then it's just throwing stuff and looking for stuff, and then Neo falls through, and then it's like, what the hell? And it just looks over and it goes and does whatever. I really wonder, and the reason why I think that that could be Alex is because like even the cat said, regardless if you ascend, the heart rarely forgets. So by the Jabberwalker looking and rummaging and trying to fix stuff, that's Alex's heart remembering that she's trying to fix the Ever After. Lewis knew about the walker. It can't be Alex. I'm not gonna say it can't be, but like, I don't know. I feel like there's enough like wonky nonsense going on in the Ever After to where like, let's just say Alex and Lewis defeated the Jabberwalker, and then Lewis goes back to the real world, and then the cat just creates a new Jabberwalker out of Alex. I know the Jabberwalker predates Alex and Lewis, but like if they defeated that Jabberwalker, the cat could have just helped create a new one. But yeah, so I just think that the Jabberwalker could be a connection to Alex in some way, and like and as like a last like reference point, if the Jabberwalker is necessary to defeating the cat, like if the Jabberwalker ends up eating the cat in the end, and the Jabberwalker is Alex, then that's kind of like at the end of the day, Alex did fix the Ever After. She got rid of the cat. She saved the humans that are there, etc., etc. Yeah. I feel like I'm more aligned with it being the blacksmith only because it just makes more sense for the sake that the blacksmith exists as part of the tree and as like a greater system to fixing the Ever After by ascending and creating afterins to help out with the world. But like, I feel like the Jabberwalker is such a non-player in all of this. I feel like it would be interesting if they were more important than we've been led to believe. Because they've also been very MIA. You also have to remember, we never saw the original Jabberwalker after episode 3. After episode 3, it's only ever been Neo-clones. So we still don't know the nature or the status of the original Jabberwalker up to this point. Yeah, the book also didn't mention Ascension either, so it's like the book isn't necessarily like completely accurate, but yeah. But yeah, that's the only thing. The Jabberwalker exists. It's one of a kind. It exists for a reason. Why it exists doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, other than it's here as like a product of the God of Darkness, right? If the God of Light created like, oh, the ability for this cycle to exist, the God of Darkness is going to want to have something to represent itself too, which would be, well, I want something here to destroy your creations just so it's not completely a world run by you, you know? So that could be just like a random creation that the God of Darkness wanted as like a, you know, as like a, oh, I want credit too. What's the possibility of Little being Alex? I mean, Little died, so at this point, they haven't really shown the significance of that, if that were to be true. So, but I mean, it's not deconfirmed, so. How did Alex and Lewis get to the Ever After? I have no idea, and I really hope RWBY answers that someday. In my opinion, I only consider something a spoiler if they plan to answer it in the future. But I hate the idea of being like, oh, that's a spoiler question, but they also have no intention of answering it in the future. So I really hope that they talk about that in some way, shape, or form. Because, like, that's, like, the biggest thing that I want to know. Because we know how Team RWBY got here, and it was kind of, like, crazy as hell. A crazy as hell plan that led to this very specific situation that had them falling. But Alex and Lewis are from a time that seems or should be a lot simpler than the time that like we find Team RWBY and company in. So like it seems less likely for it to happen in the past than it does in the present. You know, unless there's just like a random voided like a random like vortex in the ground where that existed before the schools were constructed in their place, you know? I can't wait until I hope Espen talks about the Ever After with them when they come back, because clearly they're gonna fill them in on everything that happened, and Espen's definitely gonna have an opinion, especially if him and Lewis have merged in the past. Like if Espen reincarnated into Lewis after this point, I think that would be really cool. But yeah, the cat came back. The cat talked about the true plan. Dude, going back and rewatching Volume 9, like, any scenes with the cat are just going to be so sus now that we know that they were, like, lying and, like, telling, you know, half-truths and withholding information. It's so fucked. BFN Valley, we'll get to the conversation when we get to it. I don't like being rushed. Speaking of which, hey Arnold, you called it. Our theory of Neo talking was right on the money. Oh, like through other people? Yeah. Robbie Damon did such a phenomenal job. Like, this entire, like, backstory explanation from the cat's perspective, like, Robbie's performance has been fantastic. I wish the cat could go to Remnant and be a mainstay antagonist, because I would just want more Robbie Damon in the show. God, he's so freaking good as a villain. Yeah. Yeah, the voice acting was fantastic. I loved it. And yeah, the cat also mentions, he's like, oh, you know, what did you do to her? Whatever, you know, what you do with any broken, useless thing. And the first thing I thought of, you fix it? But no, he clearly meant that he threw away Alex, like he killed her. Which is fucking savage and, like, ridiculous. Oh, yeah, the scene where he's like... God, man, it's so good. It's so good when they were, like, he was like, you know what? We're gonna... He's gonna... what was I gonna say? Yeah, like when they're all defending Ruby and he's like, then I'll put you in the ground. And I'm like, bro, that line goes so hard. That line goes so hard, dude. I'm like, damn, bro. You could have just said you'll kill them. But when you say you put him in the ground, that shit's so freaking cold. Ah, so good. Big Akechi vibes right there, dude. Big Akechi. Yeah, this scene too here when he's like realizing that Ruby isn't completely gone and that, like, oh, my plans, they're still gonna work. He's like, I just need to cut her out. Oh my God, dude. I wish he was... I don't care about any of you guys. I would love for them to hire Robbie Damon as another villain just so we get more Robbie Damon. I don't care if he sounds exactly like the cat. Like, it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, well, we can't hire you for too many of the same role because, you know, your performance will throw people. I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm like, you know what? Do it again. All right? Like, have him be another performer who performs just like that as a villain, and I will take it. I will have my brain completely forget the Curious Cat if it means I get more Robbie Damon in this show. I was thinking that too. I was actually thinking, and the reason I said that, here's the reason why. The reason I actually said that was because, for those who don't know, Tyrion's voice actor is not coming back for RWBY. They quit, I think, like a year or so ago. And so in my head, I was like, bro, if Robbie Damon could take over for Tyrion, that would be phenomenal. But at the same time, he just played the cat. And so it's like, I don't know if how that would work. But like in my head, I was like, just have Robbie Damon be Tyrion. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. There was a lot of Rooster Teeth drama going on last summer, and he basically kind of voiced his displeasure with the stuff that was going on in and out of the company, and so he decided to cut ties and not reprise his role as Tyrion. I don't know if things are changed or if he still stands by that now, but that's what his stance was like a year or so ago. It was during the hiatus. Any specifics? I mean, there are specifics, but I'm not going to get into it. This isn't the time or place. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I was unaware, Raijin. Thanks for letting me know that. Yeah. There are specifics, but I mean, I'm not going to get into it. If you want, you can do your own research and find out specifically what happened. But I mean, it's drama, so I'm not gonna get into it. Well, it's not really drama. It's just situations that I don't like. It's just gonna bring it's low energy stuff. So but yeah, so but yeah, so that's the reason why I originally thought of like, oh, I wish Robbie Damon's performance could persist into volume, like beyond this volume. I was like, I don't know if that would be a little jarring, because it's like you just did a whole volume as this cat, and then to reprise that same kind of performance as a different character. I wonder if that would be like, if that would be too distracting. But at the same time, I thought of Tyrion for that specific reason. I was like, oh, that'd be crazy. That'd be great. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be the exact same, like, portrayal. Like, it doesn't have to sound exactly like, you know, the cursed cat or the curious cat. You know, these voice talents they have crazy range. So it's not like they're portraying the exact same performance throughout everything they do. Don't start yawning. Oh, I'm sorry. Between yawning and coughing, I don't know what the hell I'm doing anymore. But yeah. People say that Neo is essentially a plot device, and they bring up the point of Neo knowing Penny's Atlas death. I mean, those people are fine to think that way. I don't really see what the problem is. Also, Penny doesn't know about Penny's... Neo doesn't know for certain about Penny's Atlas death. She said, I died in Atlas too, didn't I? Which means from Neo's perspective, she's nudging on the fact that she thinks Penny's dead. She's saying enough to where RWBY will kind of fill in the gap. But no, she doesn't know that Penny's dead. She's going off of that assumption to get to RWBY. You know, because the whole point was to kill Penny to get the maiden powers. And the relic. Cinder wanted it all. Yeah, she guessed. It was an educated guess based on the fact that they're villains. They're there to kill and steal and pillage and villain, and they did that. So... What about Jean, then? What about Jean? Neo doesn't need to know that Jean knows, like, and I don't think Neo would know that Jean knows, because Neo doesn't interact with Jean. Let's see. I've loved this volume so far. Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we got one episode left, so But yeah, the cat's main priority, or it's banking on RWBY, which I don't really understand how the cat, I mean, well, the cat thinks that if it can cut RWBY out of her cocoon, that they can just hostile take over RWBY right then and there and make it to Remnant. But like, if RWBY ascends before then the cat's pretty much shit out of luck, because there's no way that the cat can break down RWBY to the point where it has Neo. You know what I mean? So yeah. And then we transition into the fight sequence here, which was pretty neat. I was asking for a content warning at this point. When the cat showed like zombified rubies, I was like, bro, where's my episode warning? That's distressing as hell. Good God. You should have warned me of that right there. But yeah, that was super unexpected. Yeah, it's the zombies. I'm trying to make a pun, it's not working. ZOMBY. But yeah, super fucking trippy. Oh, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about the cat ascending with RWBY. I can't remember. I can't remember what I was gonna say. I already forgot. But oh, I remember now. So that's the thing too. The cat needs to ascend. Sorry, not ascend. The cat needs to body hop into somebody else. They cannot leave with Neo. And so I think the way the cat is going to die is going to be through, they're going to leave Neo's body in an attempt to try to hop into somebody else's body. And by them being quote unquote exposed or not in a vessel anymore, that's going to be how the cat dies. If the Jabberwalker shows up, I don't know how the hell the Jabberwalker would show up at such a opportune moment to kill the cat or to eat the cat and prevent them from being a threat. Like, I just don't know how that would work. But like, two things will happen with that. Number one, Neo will no longer be taken over. So Neo will get her agency back. And B, it would help get the cat into a vulnerable state to be taken down. Another thing too, actually, let's talk about Neo for a little bit here now that we're here. Given the fact that she has no attachment to Remnant, implies that she is not leaving the Ever After. And with Neo having no purpose in the Ever After and having no purpose in the, having no purpose on Remnant and having no purpose in the Ever After, I would not be surprised if Neo ascends to find a new purpose for herself and becomes like one of these like wooden sculptures. While she tries to, like, while she goes on like a similar journey to RWBY and the blacksmith right here, right? Like, because Neo needs this exact thing that RWBY is going through right now. You know what I mean? Like, this is exactly what Neo needs to kind of figure her shit out, because she clearly has no intention of going back home or going back to Remnant. And I was actually talking to Cal about this, where, like, you know what so here's my headcanon. Here's my headcanon right here. This is for like a future volume of RWBY, right? So let's just say that Neo does not leave the Ever After right now. She has no attachment to Remnant. She has no attachment to the Ever After. Torchwick's dead. She has no goals. And so she is essentially stuck here. So Neo decides to ascend to find a new purpose for herself through this like personal journey, along with help from the blacksmith. And Neo ends up staying here. However, let's just say a couple volumes pass and Team RWBY and company are in this big fight with Salem and Cinder and Ozpin and with Grimm and all of that, and they're down for the count, and it's the 11th hour, and they need help, and you don't know where it's gonna come from, and then boom! Ascended Neo finally comes back through the portal, comes back to Remnant, and saves the gang at the 11th hour as this new version of herself who actually has a semblance of attachment to Remnant, which is why she was able to come back. I had this thought from Naruto, actually. For anyone that remember, I'm not going to spoil it, but for anyone who's watched Naruto, the person that I thought of was Kabuto and the Izanami. For anyone who's seen Naruto who gets what I'm talking about, like, a moment like that happened in Naruto where Kabuto was stuck in an infinite genjutsu, basically. He was stuck in the Izanami. And the only way that he could get out of the Izanami was to, like, accept himself. And if he didn't, he was stuck in that forever loop. And at the 11th hour of the Shinobi War, he came through and it showed how he got out of the Izanami. And so I literally just applied that to RWBY. I'm like, Neo is going to be in the Ever After for a time. She's not going to die, but she's not going to get out anytime soon. And when she eventually ascends and finds a new purpose and leaves the Ever After, she will be like the tipping point for like the heroes if they're not doing so well at the moment. So, don't see it happening? That's fine. I mean, I see it happening. That's why that's my theory. But like, that's one aspect of it that I can see coming true. Or I can see that happening. But I don't think Neo's gonna die. Like, I just don't think she's gonna leave the Ever After. Which means she might... The next best thing is, like, if you got nothing else going on, you might as well try to find a new version of yourself. Or, you know what I mean? So, like, Ascension might be in the cards for Neo at this point. Yeah. Did you guys see Neo on Wheels this weekend or this past week? RWBY was talking about like things like the ideas that they scrapped for this volume. And they talked about this kind of weird cartoon style exit plan for Neo where her legs became wheels and she just pulls like a freaking like a Roadrunner moment, and her legs like become like spin, and she just like Looney Tunes herself out of here. Yeah, she's gonna ascend, and those wheels are gonna be the wheels on the ice cream truck, and she's gonna be like, she's gonna skirt herself out of the Ever After in an ice cream truck form. No, I didn't load the picture. I didn't load the picture up. Actually, hold on. I don't even think I have it, actually. Yeah, let me just show this to you guys in case anyone hasn't seen it yet. Yeah, I don't even have it, like, loaded up on my computer. Hold on, let me see. I should probably go to Cal's tweets. She's been tweeting. Oh, there it is. No, there it is. Actually, you know what? Shout out to Ryzen. Hold on, give me 1 second. I need to show you guys this. This is awesome. It's gonna be a small version of the image, but okay. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. And she's got kind of like a little dab action going there. Neo on wheels, ladies and gentlemen. You probably never thought you'd see this. But there it is. That almost became canon. Yeah. Wheelopolitan, there you go. Yeah, she's dabbing too. Dude, she's got heelies. No, she's got wheelies. You know, like those shoes that they have like the wheels on the heel part? And she's just got like the whole ass wheel. She's too powerful. I'm glad we didn't get that. That's actually kind of disturbing. Guys, please, I'm dying over here. Okay, let's get rid of that, okay, you guys. All right, I'm sorry for subjecting you to something for so long. Oh man, that's funny though. Damn, imagine that back on Remnant. Pack it in, boys. Neo's the final boss. You know what would work out really well for her is if they have like if they had like one of those. You guys ever been to like a Sonic where the waitresses, like where the waiters and waitresses come out to you like in the driveway, in the parking lot on like rollerblades or roller skates? That would work. That would work out. Yo, can someone get on that? Can someone do some fan art of Neo in a Sonic's waitress outfit serving like burgers and fries with those wheels? Oh my god, that I'm actually gonna commission that. I actually low-key might commission that. Someone will do it. Yeah, like a drive-in restaurant. Yeah, a Sonic. Yeah, so in the around where I live, we have a restaurant called Sonic's, and it's an eat-in like fast food place. But the cool thing is, like, they were really popular back in the day because they were like a drive-in place, like a I guess it's called a drive-in like restaurant where you could just park in the driveway in the parking lot, and they would bring your food to your car. It was super cool. No, not Sonic the Hedgehog. I should have specified. I felt I don't know why, but I thought it was more like widely known than I thought. But yeah. Alrighty. Anyways, let us carry on here. All right, so I showed you guys the door. Uh-oh. Hold on. All right, here we go. Yeah, RWBY had to go through it this episode. She's been talking about, like, obviously the entire episode has just been like the buildup of expectations of her, not knowing what she wants, everyone not knowing not knowing what other people want her to be, and realizing that who she currently is isn't cutting it for those expectations of her. It's like it's a big internal struggle moment for her. The scene where oh my god, when the Blast is like, what if you could be anyone? That shit was so hyped because I immediately was like, okay, she's getting Summer Rose's weapon. She actually might like turn into a part of her mom. And yeah, I was just freaking hyped up for the rest of the episode. I couldn't believe it. I was like, bro, I remember asking if anyone thought that if RWBY would become her mom. I don't want her to become, like, I don't mean, like, become Summer herself, but, like, adopt aspects of her mother's bravery, her mother's courage, her mother's confidence, her mother's design. Like, just take all of the superficial aspects of your mom that will make you feel like a better person. That's ultimately what I'm hoping for. There were a ton of generic weapons here too, which made me wonder if these are like weapons that RWBY has come across in her life. Like, I remember in Volume 1 when she first got to Beacon and she was like, oh, that guy's got a fire sword. That kid's got a, you know, has a closable staff and all that stuff. So she's just looking at all of these weapons, which are extensions of people, of who they are. And now all of those weapons are being presented to her. And it's like, you could have not only these weapons, but you could inhabit a new identity through those weapons, you know? So I feel like that would be, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like the idea of what I'm expecting. All right. Give me 1 second. I did miss a couple super chats. I do apologize. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right. Let's see. She needs to put Summer Rose away and let Ruby Rose finally shine. She needs... Well, I mean, like, realistically, it's not like she's ever... Like, Ruby has always kind of kept Summer Rose close to her chest. Like, Ruby's never really been like, oh, I'm all about me and my mom. You know what I mean? Like, she's never really kind of put that energy out there. So I don't really think she's never not felt like Ruby. It's just she needs a bit of reinforcement, and her mom will give that to her. Theory, Summer at the end of the volume is a reflection of the standard RWBY, realizing that the standards she holds on herself are too high. I see. Well, yeah, RWBY's definitely ascending. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna see the results of that in the next episode for sure. Like, she grabbed her mom's weapon, and I feel like that was her resolve right there to commit. Wasn't it that Alex wanted to stay to fix everything she messed up, and the cat attacked her because she changed her mind about leaving right then? It's a little hard to interpret necessarily, because the cat says Lewis went through, and in the last moment, Alex did not. But Alex looked like she was about to take a step, and then the cat kind of got in her way. So I don't know if she fixed everything first and then wanted to leave and had no intention of taking the cat, right? Because Jean was already fixed up and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, in the story now, like, the cat came back for Jean after what he had done to Alex. So whatever Alex had done, she had already fixed her problems, because you know what I mean? Like, everyone was kind of, like, everything was kind of good by the time Team RWBY and company came to take over. Things were different, but things weren't in shambles like they had been when she was here. So yeah. I shall draw Neo as a transformer with them wheels. Because it reminds me... Hold on, let me see. Because it reminds me of Sideswipe from Revenge of the Fallen. Oh, that's... Actually, that makes a lot of sense. That's funny. But yeah. I'm so worried for Jean now. They really pulled this shit, because up until now I was like, oh, we also have to think about Jean. Is Jean gonna go back to Remnant? Is Juniper gonna be left behind? You know what I mean? Because, like, if the cat was actually willing to go back to Remnant, does that mean Little could have gone back? Does that mean Juniper can go back? You know, can these Afterins actually go back to Remnant? But yeah, like, even now, it's so hard to... Also, shout out to the person who last week reminded me that during volume, I think it was volume 7 or 8, I mentioned that Neo would turn into Pyrrha to, like, psychologically fuck with Jean. And they did it. It's a little different, but Pyrrha attacked Jean in volume 8. And I'm like, damn, bro, that shit really came back to bite me. Neo could have became a Wheeler from Return to Oz. Oh boy. Yeah, so that's another thing that's fucked up too. Like, Jean was right about the cat the whole time, and the cat just lied about everything and just let Jean believe the lie. You know, he was like, you know, this whole time I thought Alex made it back and that she lied about everything that happened, but it was actually you that killed Alex, and it was you that lied about everything. And like this entire fight sequence, which was really cool. I love how Jean's still like popping off with his gravity dust and his sword and his shield. I love that shit so much. And then Jean taking advantage of Penny, taking advantage of Pyrrha, and getting the upper hand, and then even finessing Weiss's attack. So I assume that that's the fire from the intro. The Jean surrounded by fire, Weiss's fireball hit his shield, which caught fire and also knocked him off the tree. So if Jean, and then it like cut to smoke, which implies Ascension maybe. So I'm just like, is Jean gonna ascend now too? Or is Jean okay? Is he gonna get out of here? I have no clue, bro. They really like just gave us more questions. He's fine? What part of that looked fine to you? Please let me know. Man's got struck in the back by Pyrrha, got kicked in the face by the cat, got hit with Weiss's fireball, and went plummeting off the tree. Nah, he's good. He's all right. 'Tis but a flesh wound. People are thinking that maybe the herbalist caught him, but the herbalist flew up. And he just ascended. He's on his way to go and make some freaking... He's going to make some dank fire right now. Never got his aura broken. I don't think aura counts for fall damage. Like, I don't think aura takes fall damage into consideration. Also, you still feel pain even if you have aura. Also, you have to activate your aura. So Jean's aura doesn't have to necessarily break. Like, his aura breaking just means he has no aura to put up. And he got caught off guard, so he didn't even have he didn't even have time. Man's got literally caught off guard. His shield turns into a glider. Yeah, I mean, well, he's in a tree. He's not like free falling from like 35,000 feet or anything. Also, his shield's on fire. I don't know if it's gonna, you know. I don't know if it's gonna capture all that that wind current. There's a chance that he might ascend back into young Jean again. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. But I really hope Jean doesn't die. Like, I'll be so mad. I'll be so angry if Jean dies. After everything that kid went through, like, he deserves to make it out. He deserves to see to see Ren and Nora again. Excuse me. But yeah, Ruby's final moment here with all the weapons. Did you guys see one of the weapons that reminded me of the Buster Sword, like Cloud Strife's weapon from Final Fantasy? Most of these weapons do look kind of basic as fuck, though. It's just like, damn, Ruby, you better not be picking any of these basic bitch weapons. That's all I'm saying. You're the main character. You better be picking like a main protagonist weapon right there. And of all the weapons, she grabbed her mom's, which is kind of like, what did the blacksmith say? She said, you can take up any of these weapons and become and leave Ruby Rose behind, implying that whoever's weapon she grabs, she becomes, or she channels the weight or the energy or the essence of who that person was. It doesn't necessarily mean she loses who she is. Again, it's up to her if that's what she wants to do. Ruby could take both. She's like, I want to retain who I am, and I want to take a little bit of who this person was. You know what I mean? And in doing so, she becomes the same but different. She may grab it but not leave with it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It just depends. The cut to white, kind of the fade to white and black, just kind of made it seem like that was her choice. Ruby becomes the Sumeru Rose. Okay. All right, let's leave Genshin at the door, all right? How would you measure enough? That was a good question, too. A lot of internal pondering right there. Like, how do you measure being enough? It's like, I'll get back to you when I think about that more critically. Like, that's a huge question. You know, Ruby not feeling like she's enough. It's always weighing on her that she could always be doing more, or what she's doing right now, she could always be doing more. It's not enough. And, you know, all the decisions that she makes as a leader are up to scrutiny, which in turn means that even if she's doing her best, it's still not enough. God, man, I'm so freaking nervous for tomorrow. It's the last episode until who knows when. It's unprecedented. A lot of people don't know if Ruby Rose is even going to be that character anymore. I think the Wikipedia right now is actually like on some next level shit. I think they have Ruby's status as unknown on the wiki right now. So like they're also playing up like nobody knows, bro. We're not going to know until we see for ourselves. It's so stressful, man. Weiss forgot friendly fire. Damn. Yeah, I think they have right now Ruby's title, the former member of Team RWBY. Or the former leader of Team RWBY. It's like, damn, bro. Like, The Wikipedia is really like leaning into this hard. Hey guys, you know what? You know what? If Weiss used time dilation on Jean, he could have blocked that fireball. Imagine that. Imagine having imagine having an ability in your arsenal that could have saved Jean, and you just let that fireball hit him. You just let the fireball hit him, damn it. It's not time yet. When the hell is it time, Dan? It's been freaking 10 years. I don't want to hear that nonsense. God. You know, it's time dilation. There's always time. What are you on about? This poor man, he's never going to let it go. I'm just going to present anytime a situation in this show happens that could have been prevented with time dilation, I am just going to remind people that that situation could have been prevented if time dilation was brought back. All right. Guess what? Should have never had it in the show then. It's not my fault. What did Weiss say in Volume 3? I'm getting better and better with my glyphs. I've even started time dilation. What she should have said was, I time dilated twice, and I just don't think I'll ever do that again. That's what she should have said. But no, she had the nerve to tell her sister that she started time dilation. What a bunch of lies. Nonsense. Lies and slander, okay? Concept art, fucking fire. Summer Rose, Tai Yang, actual fucking... Tai Yang's a lucky man. That's all I'm saying, dude. Alright? Tai Yang never misses, bro. Oh, man. But yeah, you got the tree. You got Summer Rose and her weapon. I love the tree, or rather the blacksmith with the leaves of the tree. Best girl Weiss Shini. I tried to get the image of Yang too, but unfortunately, actually, you know what? I'll show it right here. Yeah, there's this one right. I wanted to showcase this one, but the crediting was blocking her. But I still thought this was kind of cool enough to show it. But you got these four, and then you got Yang. But yeah, that is that is RWBY Volume 9, Chapter 9, the penultimate chapter. The finale drops tomorrow. Hoping to see RWBY know... Wait. Hoping to see if RWBY knows how to reunite Remnant to counteract Salem's divide plan, considering that the God's judgment is positive if Remnant is united. Yeah, I mean, that's the that's the long-term plan right there. The long-term plan, I think, is in uniting the humanity against Salem. That's what they have to do. Unite against the common enemy. Salem will bring humanity together. And there you go. GG's. But damn. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I want to hear your craziest predictions for tomorrow's episode. What do you think's going to happen? Who do you think's living? Who do you think's dying? Do you think we're going to get an end credit scene? Velvet returns? Okay. Okay. Let's try plausible. Let's try plausible predictions, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I'm kidding, Dan. CL returns. You know what? I'll get behind that. I think that's possible. It's like, Dan, not a shot in the world. Ciao Soleil, you know what? I'm a believer. Let's go. Let's see. In Cal's stream, someone said maybe Cal, not sure they did. Oh, wait. In Cal's stream, somebody said Jean will fall. Hold on. Jean will fall on top of the tree branches. Credits show the tree has a lot of branches. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. They could, like, to like, cushion his fall so he doesn't, like, fall all the way down to the bottom and become a pancake. An afterin pancake. Yeah, I could see that. I just hope, like, damn, dude, you didn't have to scare me for an episode prior. The door of the tree actually ends up in Blood Gulch. Oh, God. Jean sacrifices himself and closes the door. Damn, bro, that's on some Kingdom Hearts moment. That's a Kingdom Hearts moment right there. Ugh. Where, like, Riku and Sora are closing the door from both sides. Nah, I can't. I can't let them do that. Weiss uses time dilation to reverse Jean's age. Damn, a man can dream. Hey, Marky, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Thank you, thank you. That means we're going to get a Mickey Mouse cameo tomorrow. Ha! And that little Mickey Mouse is going to be little. God, one episode left, man. I feel like there's so much stuff. We need to see Little's Ascension. We need to see what happened to Jean. We need to see what happened to RWBY. We need to get this final fight with the cat. We need to see if the cat's going to die, if Neo's going to survive, if Neo's going to ascend or not. Who's making it through the portal, who's staying behind. There's so much, man. And apparently tomorrow is going to be the longest episode of the volume. Potentially. Allegedly. Oh my God. Do you guys think we're getting an end credit scene? Yes or no? End credit scene would be huge. Yes, yes, yes. I hope so. I mean, I don't know why, but I don't want to see any characters in the end credit scene. Like, just show us a shot of the desert and, like, the portal opening up in front of Vacuo's desert, and I'll be happy. Like, I don't want to see if there's a time skip until the new volume. Like, I don't want to see, like, an aged up, like, Nora or something. Like, I really just want to... I just give me a shot of Vacuo's desert, and that's all I need. I would want them to save, like, showing us something like that for the actual next volume, like trailer or the next volume itself. Team Coffee Hopium. I wouldn't mind a Team Coffee. I wouldn't mind seeing, like, Team Coffee, because if they're aged up a little bit, that's fine, because that could... that doesn't imply that the aging up happened before Volume 8. We haven't seen Vacuo... We haven't seen Team Coffee since Volume 3. So I'd be fine to see Team Coffee, honestly. Even if they're aged up, because we wouldn't know if the aging up was from the last time we saw them or if it was because of the Ever After. So I'll accept that. I don't want to see any of the... I don't want to see Oscar. I don't want to see Emerald or Ren or Nora. I'd rather... Or Sun or Neptune. Like, I want to just see... I just want to see a semblance of the next area we're going to. And Team Coffee would be enough to where it wouldn't spoil if there was an actual time skip. Or a significant time skip, I should say. Yeah, R.I.P. to the cake acre, ladies and gentlemen. Never forgive, never forget. No caker. Hey, hello, Julia. Oh, yeah, by the way, really quick, I will be mentioning this for the YouTube video for the reaction tomorrow. Or the one I'm recording. I actually might do a little intro of I might do a little, like, an insert video. But I am going to be doing reactions for the Justice League Part 1 movie. I will probably be doing it the week after next week. Like, after next week. So, probably, like, the first week of April. I'm sorry, May. The first week of May. Because, it's like an hour and a half movie. And I'm not sure how I'm going to structure it for YouTube, if it's even possible to put on YouTube. So I'm going to focus on it for Patreon first. But yes, I will be watching the Justice League. It's a 2-part movie, but part 1 comes out next week. So yeah, so I'm going to be checking that out, the RWBY Justice League. I'm going to be watching that. I will be doing a video for it. It will be on Patreon, so if you guys are already on Patreon for this week, or if you guys are already on Patreon, you guys will get it. I'm just going to make sure that I wrap up Volume 9, because we still have the live stream discussion for the finale next week, and my reaction's going up next weekend. So once RWBY 9 is officially done on the channel, then I'll transition to that. And it'll be on Patreon first. But yeah, because someone did ask, am I going to be reacting to the new movie? Yes, I will. What did you think about Volume 9 overall? It might be my favorite volume, honestly. I'm blown away by the amount of work that RWBY did. And how long it took for this show to come out, and all the work and effort that they put into the assets that are not going to be reused. You really can't reuse anything from the Ever After for Volume 10 or any future volumes. So it's crazy how much they put into this volume to make it feel super extra special. This might be a bit of a hot take, but Volume 3 isn't as, like, goated as I think people make it out to be, where people consider Volume 3 to be the best volume. Volume 3 really didn't even have a plot. Like, Volume 3 is where the plot started. But, like, Volume 4 and 5 is, like, really where the plot started, like, where the story started playing out with the relics and the academies and all that stuff. Like, Volume 3, we were still at Beacon. Like, what were we really doing in Volume 3? I think Volume 4 is better than Volume 3, in my opinion. Like, yeah, like, I would say Volume 9 is up there to being my favorite volume. Which means, yes, it's higher than Volume 3. A lot more is going on. The stakes are higher. The show's the best it's ever looked. It's very different from anything that the show has ever provided. So, you know, the writing is great. I have to think critically about where I would place. I'll probably do my top 10 favorite volumes of RWBY next year, whenever Volume 10 comes out, because then there'll be 10 volumes to pair up. Because without that 10th one, it kind of feels weird to do like a top video. It's like my top 9 favorite RWBY volumes. It's like it doesn't hit the same as 10. But yeah. But yeah, with all of that said, that is the penultimate chapter 9 of Volume 9. Appreciate all of you guys for the support. We are going to be reading through 2 pages today, since I was sick last week and I couldn't read through a page of The Cat in the Hat. And it's going to feel a little different reading this now with the freaking with the current cat fiasco that's going on in the freaking in the show, for God's sake. But yeah, so the cat was messing around with all the bits and bobs, juggling on a bouncy ball, balancing a plate of balancing some milk and a rake and a cake and some books and a fan and an umbrella and the goldfish and the kitchen sink and everything else. Oh no! That is what the cat said and then fell on his head. He came down with a bump. From up there on a ball, Sally and... Wait, hold on, let me read this again. Wait. That is what the cat said. Then he fell on his head. He came down with a bump. From up there on a ball, and Sally and I, we all saw it all things fall. Damn, dude, when it falls. And our fish came down too. He fell into a pot. He said, I do not like this. Oh no, I do not. This is not a good game, said our fish as he lit. No, I do not like it. Not one little bit. Damn, bro. The fish is in a pot. Damn, man. I feel like this book is gonna become an allegory for the cat now, for the curious cat. You know, the whole fuck around and find out. Oh my God. But yeah, with all of that said, everybody, that is the discussion. This was actually pretty short, 2.5 hours. I mean, the episode was really short too, for the most part. So, thank you guys all so much for the love. Thank you for the support. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for tolerating my coughing, my annoying coughs, I'm sure, but coughs nonetheless. Thank you so much. Tomorrow is the finale. My reaction will be posted to YouTube around 11:30 a.m. Eastern. But the finale, dude. Oh my God. I hope you guys enjoy it. I have no idea what it's going to deliver, but it's the last mainline RWBY thing we're going to have for a while. So hopefully it delivers. Hopefully it's entertaining. And we are going to be doing our last live stream discussion this time next week for Chapter 10 for the finale. Whatever the finale gives us, whatever it leaves us off with for Volume 10 and everything else in between. I'm super excited for everything. I'm excited to see how the volume ends. I'm excited to see what RWBY becomes. I'm excited to hear any potential bops, any new song, any new music, the end credit song, a potential end credit scene, and everything else in between. Yes, Chapter 10 is the finale. Tomorrow is the finale for Volume 9. Hopefully you guys look forward to it, and I will be back same time next week for the discussion. My reaction will be most likely posted as soon as I can get it up on Patreon, for those of you who are pledged. And I also started posting anime content on Patreon as well, for those of you who don't know. I posted Attack on Titan, Erased, Beastars, and RWBY Ice Queendom, and those will start coming out on during the first week of May as well, once RWBY 9 is officially wrapped up on the channel. But yeah, thank you guys all for the support. Thank you for hanging out. I really hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the finale. Enjoy everything else. Enjoy my reaction for tomorrow as well. And I will see you guys next week for the discussion and the official wrap up of Volume 9. But yeah, thank you guys all so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and take care. Bye-bye.